Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, grabbing the Ace Pilot achievement. This is to complete a Tier 3 Gummy mission. Now, the easiest one to do is going to be the one located at Wonderland. Unfortunately, that is also going to mean you are going to have to clear the Tier 1 and Tier 2 missions for Wonderland. Tier 1 is going to be pretty simple. You just have to score 120 points on any trip to Wonderland. That one doesn't really need an explanation. As for the Tier 2 mission, what you have to do is you have to make sure you make any trip to Wonderland with a haste gummy and using its accelerate a total of 5 times without taking any damage. So with that in mind, we're going to head into the gummy garage and we are going to set up our build for this mission. So start out with your basics. You want to make sure you pick an engine and a cockpit in order to make your base. Those are going to be the bare essentials. Then for your weapons, make sure you build it like this. You want to keep it rather compact. So I recommend doing a row of 4, then you want to do 2 in the middle, and then a row of 4 directly underneath that, and then try to keep the ship as small as possible. And then the last thing you need is going to be either a haste gummy or a haste 2 gummy. Doesn't really matter since they pretty much do the same thing. Just make sure you pop it somewhere unobtrusive. So again, try to keep your ship small, and then you should have something that looks a little something like this. So once you have that, make sure you save it and then set it as your primary ship. Then we're going to head back to the world map and then pick our starting point. You can pick any point that ends with Wonderland. So basically what you want is you want to make sure you pick a route that's going to be pretty long to give us enough distance to work with. So I recommend picking Agrabah as your starting point, and then from Agrabah you want to do a normal drive to the warp hole directly above it. So once the trip starts, what you want to do is you want to hit the accelerator right away, and you can get one off the list. And then we're going to stay in the middle. Make sure you keep your weapons centered. Make sure you use the gaps in the spiral to dodge the tankier enemies, and then you can use your second accelerate as soon as you get out of that spiral of barriers. Make sure you hit up the warp hole because we do have to end up in Wonderland, so we are going to need to take this direction. So make sure you jump, and then once you get to the other side, make sure you start hugging the upper right corner. You should get your third charge coming off of this set of obstacles. Make sure you use it in that little dead zone between it and the next salvo of enemies. Then make sure you head back to center. Use your weapons to try to blow a path. You shouldn't have too many tanky enemies here. Once you get your charge, make sure you use it to go through this hole, and then we should be in a big open area, so make sure you try to charge up as quickly as possible. Make sure you take the left direction. Again, we need to make sure we head towards Wonderland and not traverse town. Hardest part of the trip is going to be this set of rings right here. Be very careful not to clip this sideways ring. So try your best to steer through it, and then once you get an opening, make sure you use that last accelerate, and that should put us at 5. Once we make landfall at Wonderland with 5 accelerations, we should be good for our Tier 2 mission, and then we will unlock our Tier 3 mission, which is what we are going to use for this achievement. For this mission, what we have to do is we have to make sure we start in Traverse Town and then head to Wonderland and make sure we pick up at least 40 gummy blocks. We are going to reuse the ship that we used for the last achievement, which is going to be our bulky ship that has all of the arm gummies attached to it as well as the wide frame. Basically, what you want is you want to make sure you make as big a ship as possible with the ability to grab hard-to-reach gummies. Once you are ready, make sure you warp over to Traverse Town and then do a normal drive heading towards Wonderland. As soon as you start, just start blasting away. Your goal is to kill all of the enemy ships and then pick up their drops. The rhombus-shaped blocks are the ones that are going to count towards this achievement. So basically what you want to do is you want to clear up the screen as best you can, and any hard-to-reach gummies, you want to make sure you flick the stick in order to use your arms. If you have a full set of arms, which is going to be 16 possible, you should suck up pretty much everything on screen. So that's going to be your main goal. So just try your best to take out as many enemies as you can, get a bunch of rhombuses on screen, and then flick that stick to suck everything up. And then if you keep this up for the majority of the route, you should be good for the number you need. Keep an eye out for any power or special that comes along the way. You do need to recharge your power bar, especially if you are running low. Obviously, you want to avoid the warp hole when it pops up, since our goal is to head to Wonderland. So just keep trucking forward. Make sure you take advantage of the recharges, and if there's a ton of drops on screen, make sure you use your power. Don't worry about taking too much damage during the ring parts. We do have enough to tank through this. Flying through the last ring should get us to Wonderland once you make landfall, and if you happen to pick up enough blocks, you should be good for the Valifor blueprint as well as completing the Tier 3 mission, which should get you this achievement, 15 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.